What's up, everybody? Don't forget to subscribe to the World's TV YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of this great content moving forward. What's up, guys? Welcome back to World's TV. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video out. So, in the NBA offseason, the early offseason, news is kind of slow right now as we get to hit free agency. And there's been a lot of social media beefs going on. We got Russell Westbrook versus Skip Bayless. We got, of course, Stephen A. Smith versus Kyrie Irving. And we have the long-lasted feud between Draymond Green and Kendrick Perkins. Now, you guys have been living under a rock. Kendrick Perkins and Draymond Green have been going back and forth at each other for almost a year plus now. They've been not a fan of each other. I believe it all started where Draymond Green was in a video with Kevin Durant after Team USA won gold medal, and he said, "Fuck you, Kendrick Perkins." Kendrick Perkins responded back. Then Draymond Green responded back, and they've just been going back and forth at each other. But this time, their beef has been taken to new heights. On the recent latest episode of the Draymond Green Show, which is doing fantastic numbers, by the way, this dude, Draymond Green, is killing the podcast game. But on the latest episode of his podcast, he called out almost every single on-air media personality. He called out Skip Bayless. He called out Nick Wright. And he called out Kendrick Perkins. He also called out Kendrick Perkins when they won a championship, but that's besides the point. And this time, he called Kendrick Perkins a word that is the most disrespectful and derogatory word in the entire black community. He called Kendrick Perkins a coon.
You don't have to act like that, my man. You don't have to go up there. You go from being enforcer to coon. How does that happen?
C-O-O-N. Big old coon. He said, how'd you went from enforcer to coon? Pretty much. Now, for you guys who don't know, calling a black man, calling a black person a coon in the black community is worse than a slap in the face. Is worse than a spit in the face. It is like a white person calling a black person the N-word with the hard R at the end of it. Those are fighting words right there. And for you guys who don't know what the definition of coon means, it is pretty much a traitor. Here's an example. So somebody who's black, pro-black, preach black ideas, all about black culture, all of a sudden they get a job at a very prestigious company or TV company that's mainly white. They get offered a lot of money. They take the job. And then all of a sudden they abandon their black cultures, their black views. They stop speaking highly and positively about black people. And they all of a sudden start speaking positively about white people. And they pretty much turn their back on black people. And they pretty much start talking down about black people. Meanwhile, they're black themselves. That's what a coon is. It's like a traitor to your own community, to your own ethnicity. And pretty much he said this in the context saying, hey, Kendrick Perkins, you went from being a player's media personality to the quote-unquote old media personality where you're just saying things for views, clickbaits, and stuff like that. And Draymond Green has this new philosophy of the new media, which he's been preaching for God knows how long, where he wants people to stand on what they say. Stand on your word. If you say something, stand on that. Don't back down. Don't flip-flop. Stand on it and admit when you're wrong and be held accountable. And to this, Kendrick Perkins was very pissed off, and he had every right to be pissed off. And he responded back to Draymond Green on his Twitter post, which has now been deleted because ESPN told him to take it down because he was cussing up a storm in there, and ESPN was like, hey, listen, you represent our company. We can't have one of our on-air talents saying F this and F that and B word this and B word that. So they told him to take it down. But if you guys haven't seen it, Here is the now deleted video of Kendrick Perkins responded back to Draymond Green, calling him a coon.
You good? The fuck wrong with you? Didn't you just win your 4th championship? What the fuck you worried about me for? What, you mad? You mad because I'm doing it my way and it's happened to work? I'm doing it my way. I ain't got to do it your way. I'm doing it my way. But look, forget the old media, forget the new media. I'm going to stand by the old law, right? And the old law says, hey, man, all that disrespect and all that hoe shit, calling somebody a coon, man, you got me fucked up. Ain't nothing a coon about me. Ain't no cooning, ain't none of that. Straight up. And here's the thing, right? We all know, dog. We all know. You all barking no bite. We know this. The NBA brothers know this. A lot of them that's talking behind you, behind your back with the whispers, they know this. They know you not gonna do nothing. This is proven. This is facts. We know that. So, one, stop with all the tough talk. You can talk about me as an ESPN analyst. You could talk about my takes. You could talk about everything you want to do. I don't give a fuck about that. But what you not gonna do is, you not gonna disrespect me and call me no motherfucking coon. And I'ma stand on that. You talk about standing on something, I'm standing on that. That's what I'm not gonna be, especially by you, when we all know you not gonna do nothing. Let me try that wink again. You not gonna do nothing. And we know that. It's proven. We know that. We know you ain't gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight. We know you ain't gonna pour milk on cereal. We know you ain't gonna listen to it go snap, crackle, or pop. We know that. But that coon and shit, man, you got me fucked up. We could keep it entertainment. We could keep it ESPN. You could, whatever you want to do. But we ain't doing that coon shit, homeboy. Real talk. Carry on.
And so now, my thoughts about this is this. I kind of understand where Draymond Green is coming from, but he was wrong in this situation. Very, very wrong. His new idea of the new media is like, hey, these quote-unquote experts like Skip Bayless, Stephen A., you name it, Nick Wright, they come on national television, and some of the time they don't even be given analysis about the game. They just say whatever or say hot takes that are going to bring in views, clicks, and more eyes on their show. And he wants those people to be held accountable in things that they say, and I partially agree with them. And he's pretty much saying, Kendrick Perkins, you are a sellout. You used to be with us, now you are against us. But Draymond Green is now part of the media circle. And he knows it is always going to be like that. Now I understand what he's trying to do in terms of, yo, stand on what you say. But for people who watch news, media, stuff like that, any type of online content consumption, for them to continuously watch your product, for you to be entertaining on television to a certain degree, you gotta say a little bit entertaining stuff, if you know what I mean. Kendrick Perkins said this best. The E in ESPN stands for entertainment. Nobody wants to watch you give hardcore information for people who don't really know that much about a particular topic. They say, okay, give me the information. I want the information. I want the honesty. I want the truth. But can you do it in an entertaining way? Can you do it in a way that sticks with me? Can you deliver it in a great fashion? In a fashion that makes sense to me? And that is what on-air personalities do. How do you think Skip Bayless, as annoying, as ignorant as he could be sometimes, why do you think he has almost 4 million followers on Twitter? Why do you think he's able to get so much money on these television networks? Why do you think Fox is paying him $8 million a year? Same thing with Colin Cowherd, the guy that Draymond Green is working with. You know how many dumb and wrong takes Colin Cowherd has said? Why do you think he's still on air? Why do you think Fox is still paying him almost $9 million per year? Same thing with Shannon Sharp. Why do you think he's still on Fox? Why do you think Skip Bayless handpicked him to be the co-host of The Undisputed? Why do you think he got a raise in his new Fox salary? Because they want these people to be entertaining while they're delivering information. Now, it's more entertaining than information based, but it's always been like that in the media. And I understand what Draymond Green is doing. He's like, yo, we need to get rid of these on-air personalities having agendas against people, because what you say holds word. If you never watched a sport in your day in your life and you're clicking the channel and you see Shannon Sharp or you see Stephen A. Smith or you see Skip Bailey say something, it's like, well, they're on national television and they look like they're getting paid pretty well to do this, so maybe what they're saying must be true. No. What they're saying is not true, not all the time. It may be entertaining, it may be funny, and it may be partially true, but it's not all the way true. And so I get what Draymond Green's trying to say. And I'm with them on the new media side. A lot of people think, well, the new media is former athletes and current athletes taking over a journalist job. No, that's not what he said. They even said that on his own podcast. On his podcast, he's saying, yo, we want you to be accountable. You cannot go on air and just say nonsensical things just for you to get views. That's a bad way. That's how misinformation gets spread. What he's saying is like, hey, be accountable. When you're wrong, admit you're wrong, but still admit that you said that. I mean, how many times we were told growing up, hey, admit what you're wrong. Communicate better. Oh, you said this? Don't change your tune now. You said it. Admit that you're wrong, though, but you said it. And it's going to be, listen, when you're making predictions, you're not always going to be right about the things that you predict. That's just human life. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But going back to what Draymond Green calling Kendrick Perkins a coon, listen, they two have never liked each other. It's clear as day, but there's just certain things that you just don't say, just out of respect. Okay, out of respect. I mean, Kendrick Perkins never crossed the line with Draymond Green. For the most part, he kept his criticism about Draymond basketball related. Now, when you start going to name calling to a racial slur, kind of, not even racial, a derogatory slur, then you kind of crossing a line there. And that's when you could lead to gloves being taken off. But I believe Draymond Green was wrong in that situation. Okay, there's other words that you could have called him. Could have used the other C word that you've been calling him, which is clown. You could have called him a clown, a cartoon character, whatever, ogre. But to call another black person a coon because he called out your basketball play in the finals, just a little too strong there. And Kendrick Perkins had every single right to respond the way he did. Now, the fact that ESPN told you to take it down kind of shows you why most of the former ESPN colleagues who are now working at Fox had a reason to leave ESPN, because Disney, they're very, very, white collar, tuxedo on, professionalism attire. The only person who could curse on their platform that works at ESPN is Stephen A. Smith. But other than that, nobody else could do that. But Kendrick Perkins have every right to respond the way that he did. Draymond Green, you can't be going around calling people coons. Because you're going to call a black person a coon that you got beef with, you're going to catch him on the right day. And there's been word that Draymond Green ain't really much of a fighter, so, he was wrong in that instance. But knowing Draymond Green, I mean, I don't know him, but seeing what he's been doing with the podcast and teaching and speaking about new media and accountability, I believe he will apologize. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Was Draymond Green wrong to call Kendrick Perkins a coon? And was Kendrick Perkins right in the way that he responded? Let us know. I'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe. Worlds TV. Peace.